Okay, awesome. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I hope we're all having a wonderful day right now. And I would like to say that I hope nobody's seeing the heat. Those in Nigeria, right? We are not seeing the terrible sun. And if you are, we are sorry, just stay near the fan and enjoy this session because, you know, today is going to be a good day, like they always say. So, without going or without further ado, like our ancestors will always say, okay, without further ado, I'll go straight to what we are here for. We know the main reason why we are here is to talk about, our careers, whatever we want to do. The topic for today is to start, advance, or switch to be it's like to a tech career. And it's more or less like talking about, it's for people that are tech enthusiasts wondering, okay, what career should I go to? It's for people that are also in the career, like you already have a career in whatever field in the tech space, and you're wondering, okay, yes, I want to like elevate. I do not want. Okay, I've learned this. I'm satisfied with this. I'm earning money with this, but I want more. This is the avenue for you to also know how to achieve more with your career. Forgetting tech, you can be in your own business space. You can be like whatever entrepreneur you are, fashion. You can even be like a carpenter, anything. And you want to involve or imbibe tech, what is the right tech skill to learn to take your business from this position, like achieve that? That is why our beautiful, awesome, wonderful host today, that's why she's here to give you like, a brief introduction with this here. And we also want to imbibe a little bit of fun to it. So as we always take it side high. So I would like us to drop in the comment section what skill they were interested in, or what skill they are currently learning, and like what country they are hearing us from. And I'm just interested to wanting to see that, so that we could take it from there. Um, okay, awesome. So while we all are giving me opinions, and I'm happy to hear them all, um while you all are giving me opinions and I'm happy to hear them all, I'm still waiting to see our chat. Oh, awesome. Oh my God. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Oh, okay. I can even see my beautiful alumni is here. You see, everybody would want to elevate in whatever tech skills they do. So, awesome. Going straight to what we are doing here, because we also know that time is very, very important. Going straight to what we are doing here, because I know time is very, very, very important. Oh, hi Faye from Nigeria. You're interested in learning product management. Wow, right choice. Would also be able to speak on why you're choosing what you're choosing. Hi, Rola, data analytics. She wants to be a data boss. Nice, nice. That's awesome. So going straight to what we are doing here, I'll be introducing briefly the our speaker. So for alumni or those that are currently learning in the academy, architectural academy, her name is like well known, and this is not the first time we're hearing her. Her name is Gloria Ojukwu. She is the CEO of architectural organization. Um, Removing the organization, I want to introduce her as the beautiful boss that she is. Gloria Ojukwu has over 10 years of experience in the tech space, and I would say one of the reasons why she's very particular about starting a career in the tech space is because in her learning time, it was hard in her own time finding the right career, knowing which to choose, because there was no guide, there was nobody to assist, and it was not as tech was not as popular as it is right now. And that is where she was here, and she is here to help to bridge that gap, to make people be able to should I say, to avoid the errors that could happen when you put all your effort into one space or one career, and it doesn't work out the way you want it to, because every space is good. Yes, every space is important, but which one is important for you? So I would want to see the love. I want to see the emojis to welcome our beautiful one and only Gloria Ojukwu.
Thank you so much, Mide. Can you hear me? Hi, ladies. If you can hear me, say hi on the chat. Let me get to see your highs. Say hi on the chat. Can you hear me? Okay, I haven't seen any hi. What's happening? Ayomide, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I
Hello?
can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. I've started seeing the highs. They're coming in. Hi, everybody. Hope you're good. Happy Valentine in Arias. Hope you're enjoying the love season. Hope you have shown love around you and you have received love as well. Okay, so we are gonna be starting now. We are gonna be starting right away, and we're gonna be talking about. We already know why we're here. So we are here because we want to learn about getting started in tech, either as a beginner or you want to advance in the career, right? So if you want to get started in tech, if you want to advance in tech, this is the right place to be in, like at this moment. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen in a jiffy. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay, so I believe everyone can hear me now. So going back, we are getting started in tech. So if I ask you a question, okay, let me know the newbies in our midst. If you haven't started in tech before, this is your first time, let me see a yes on the chat. And if this is your if this is not your first time of getting into tech, you've been in tech, but you're looking to advance in the field, let me see a hello. So I'm looking out for two things: a yes and a hello. A yes and a hello. If this is your first time ever of getting into tech, let me see a yes. If you're trying to advance in tech, let me see a hello. Okay. Please. We have some yes and we have some hellos. Okay, so let's start. So my name is Gloria Ojukwu, as you might have known, and you can find me on Twitter as at tech_Bella and on LinkedIn as Gloria Ojukwu, right? Um, you can find me doing things like product management, tech career consulting, basically running sessions on getting into tech, basically a tech career coach. So when I say what is tech, what comes into your mind? I know most people, what comes into your mind when you hear about tech is you envision or you basically see someone wearing, a hoodie or carrying a MacBook, wearing a headset. Okay, that's the image you have, of someone who is into tech. But that's not what it's all about. Can you still hear me? Ayomide, can you still hear me? I want to make sure that you can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you
Awesome.
clearly.
Awesome. So, but that is not what tech is all about. Now, let's basically dive into what tech is all about. Now, as of years back, right? People who lived like years, hundreds of years ago, they would basically tell you that when they began to use the broom, the broom, not even the modern broom now, like the one that you have to bend down and sweep. When they started using that at first, they saw that as tech, right? Because why? It made their work easier, it made their processes, faster than when they had to use their hands, and gather the dirt and all of that. So basically, you would see tech as an innovation that makes your work easier, that makes your life easier, right? So that's basically what tech is. If someone has something, an innovation that doesn't make your life easier, it might look all flashy and glamorous, but if it's not making your life easier, then that is not tech. I know tech has a lot of definitions out there when you go to Google and all of that, but to a layman or to a 5-year-old, I like to come from this route so it makes more sense to you. So basically,
Hi guys. So I guess Gloria's village people have come in again to want to snatch away the network. But are we going to agree? No, we are not going to take it. So while she's trying to fix up the network issues and while she's trying to, work it, I've been counting the number of people that want to learn certain careers, and it is very, very interesting. So I'm seeing like everybody really wants to learn data analytics. Wow, I'm in shock. Just one person wants to learn design. What? What is going on here? Please, everybody wants to learn. Okay, one person shows interest in PM. Wow, wow. I hope we do know that there are like awesome, like other awesome, tech skills to learn. Actually, I think that's why today is here for us all to also learn, like the awesome tech skills. And let's try to do. Okay. So our queen is back online. So we've been able to defeat and fight against our village people. So she's going to come here back to sensitize and entertain us like she always does. So Gloria, please have the floor. Okay. I guess she's still trying to get set up. But let's do a should I say, a country or a state's competition right now. So I want us to drop in our comment section where they come from, the states they are from, or the country they are from, and where they are hearing us from currently. I want to see something. I want to sharply see something. They said all the Lagos people have taken over the tech space. I do not want to believe that. I really do not want to believe that. So let me see. So drop your country, like where you are coming from, like your state and your country, Nigeria, abroad, it doesn't matter. So let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Okay. Oh, awesome, awesome. You see what I'm saying about Lagos people? Lagos people want. Hey, God, I beg. I'm seeing Edo. Wow, awesome, awesome. Wow, this is big. At Ethiopia. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. This is nice. Oh, okay. I can see somebody from Edo State. I can see somebody from Abuja. Yes, let's kick it with Lagosians here. Let's kick them out. Keep saying your states down here. I don't want to see Lagos at all. Okay, okay. Awesome. Wow, South Africa. Wow, okay, nice, nice, nice. Yes, kick the Lagos people away. I'm not seeing their straight states again. Okay, that's so nice. Um, that's so nice. Um, okay, Finland. Nice, 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 nice. Sweet. Okay, so while she's trying to fix it all up, I'll try to do one or two to enter into the picture. So, if you've heard of this tech skill before, or you feel like you know how important they are, you can just say yes in the chat box if you've heard of this tech skill. So, who have heard of video editing? You can just put it yes in the chat box if you have. So, who have heard of video editing? Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, okay. I like this person. You have so much energy. Okay. You've heard of video editing. Yes. And if you've heard of video editing, you would know that it's like currently a very beautiful skill to have, and how it works for Burundi. Nice, nice, nice. Wow. Okay. So, if you've heard about video editing, you would know that it has a lot of potentials in the tech space. Who has heard of, let me pick another one, web development? Because I've noticed like these courses, like this tech skills were not mentioned among people that wanted to learn currently. So who has heard of web dev?
Okay, sorry about that, ladies. Ayomide, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you currently. Okay, so we're doing a light game, but now that you're back, that's perfect. We're doing a light
awesome.
who have heard of game. Yes. Okay, so you have the floor now. And before I go further, if in case you want to still have a communication one-on-one with Gloria, like you have questions about career as she goes on, so want to ask her, I would be dropping her social links so that you could definitely like chat her up or ask any questions you want to. So Kumo.
Okay, thank you, Ayomide. So most people, get into tech and they don't really know why they want to get into tech. A lot of people want to get into tech because they want to make money. A lot of people want to get into tech because things are hard. A lot of people want to get into tech because in their family they need money, right? That's basically like most of the things I get to hear, like most times. But getting into tech is beyond that, right? Even though that could be like a valid reason, but it's beyond that. So why tech? Why are you not doing other things? Why do you want to do tech? So I'm going to share you a few reasons why um, tech would be like something that you need to consider in 2024, right? So some of the reasons are sustainability. Now, tech is not something that is you're gonna be doing like like as its short-term goal. You need to envision and think on the long term when you want to get into tech, right? And when I say sustainability, I'm not talking about sustaining your life or feeding you or buying your clothes or sustaining your lifestyle, right? I mean, tech is sustainable, like in terms of the economy, in terms of the society, because it's something that would last for long. It's not something that is going out of fashion anytime soon. It's something that will continue to be there, right? So when you think about tech in the last 20 years, it's not the same way tech is now today. Tech is always evolving. So it's something that will always be there, even on the long run. And that's why I tell people, if you're coming into tech, have the mindset of, oh, this is going to be like for the long term. Okay, so another reason is economic empowerment. Now, when you do tech, like, and you're from a country like Nigeria, you're practicing technology, do you know what you're doing? You're basically shipping or exporting. You're doing exportation. That's basically what you're doing, because tech is global. It's not something that only people in Port Harcourt need. It's not something that only people in Aouda needs. It's not something that only people in Lagos needs. So it's something that has a global market, right? So by the time you start shipping your skills, you start exporting your skills, or you're basically contributing to the economic empowerment in your local community, right? Imagine if 100 people in your village are into tech and they all stay in your village. Do you know what that's going to do in your village? Okay, now let's forget about your village. Let's talk about Lagos, for instance. Let's say you reside in Lagos, and up to 5,000 youths are very good in tech in Lagos, and they are not just good, they are actually serving the global market and exporting their skills. That is empowering the economy in the society. Now, right now, one of the things that is making the economy not very stable right now in Nigeria is because we consume more than we produce. So tech is one way that you can easily export and you can easily produce something even without getting involved with all the logistics and all of that, because it's a digital product, it's a digital skill. Tech is a digital skill, so it's not something that you always have to get involved physically. For you don't need a factory like you don't necessarily need a factory or a very big space for you to practice tech. So something is something you can easily do and empower your economy even without knowing it. You're empowering your economy, right? So you're changing lives. I think tech is one of the things that has made it possible for me to virtually work in a lot of industries, even without being in those industries. I've worked in the health industry. I've built applications that people in the health industries are currently consuming. I've built applications that people in the beauty industry are currently consuming, people in the education sector, and a lot of other sectors, right? I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical doctor, but I've worked in the health industry, right? So tech is one thing that will make you to change lives. You're not necessarily, working directly with these people. There are a lot of people right now all over the world that have used my product and I don't even know them and they don't know me, right? But because of that product that I've worked on, I've been able to affect these lives depending on what the product is doing. Okay. So this is something, these are the things that would want to make you actually do tech, because money will always come. I know a lot of people want the money. Money will always come if you focus on the right things. Okay. So we also have flexibility. Now, tech is not like every other job that you have to struggle with flexibility. It's very flexible. You can basically say, okay, this is how I want to work. I want to work from home. I want to work from, I want to work. You can just travel and work at the same time. It's not like before where if you're working, you have to be in a place, you have to be in a certain location, for you to work. Tech has made all these things possible, flexibility in terms of mobility and all of that. And then I think I've mentioned this before. Now why. Let's go back to, okay, tech skills that you need to learn in 2024. But before we do that, a lot of people ask me, what do I learn? I want to get into tech, right? What do I learn? You don't just, and I'll always tell them, I'm not going to be the one to tell you what to learn, right? I can only guide you to make the decision, but I'm not going to be the one to make that decision for you. So let's see certain ways that, you can be able to make that decision for yourself. And before you start making that decision, you need to know how tech, what is involved in tech. Now, I'm going to be using software as a case study. In tech is not all about software. We have other products that you can actually produce and sell, but software is like a very good example, a very good instance. So that's why I'm using software. So by the time you go through the phases of what happens in a typical software product, you now know, various things that you can do, right? Some people, once they hear tech, what comes into their mind is, because of the environment that they are in, maybe they are just here, they think it's all about web development, or they think it's all about digital marketing, but tech is actually very wide. So by the time we are done with this, you're going to know, oh, there are actually more, places that can fit in. Okay. So the first thing that you're looking at, if you're looking at this image, so this is a typical life cycle of a software product, or how it goes from ideation through launch. Okay, so the first thing that you see mostly is the ideation phase, right? And this tells you that, okay, after the ideation phase, you have like research, and then you have like design. So I'm gonna be explaining these phases. I'm gonna be telling you how this, will give you the different places that you can find yourself in tech. So the first one here is, research. Now there's a field in tech, known as user research. I know you've heard about that, so many times, user research. Even other types of researches in terms of market research, business research. But when it comes to tech, I like to see user research as the main type of research. Then we have other ones like, so after the research, you see that, the product is being prototyped and then being designed. So that tells you that a designer is needed, right? So a designer, you need to be a designer, or you can be a designer in tech. Now, when I'm using software products as an example, remember I said it mustn't be a software product. It can be any software, it can be any tech service, it can be any tech product. And it is not just about software, right? But 80% of the time, if you're working in a tech company, you will always see softwares. You always see that this company owns this software, or they are working with this software. Okay. So after that, you have to see things like, programming. Okay. You have to see things like programming, back-end development, front-end web development, mobile development, and thereabouts. So everything programming. Now, programming is the core technique when it comes to software products. You cannot have a product without programming. You cannot have a software product without programming. So you need programmers. Okay, so when you come to programming, you will now decide, do I want to be a front-end web developer? Do I want to be a back-end web developer? Do I even want to be in web? Do I want to do mobile development? Do I want to just be a desktop application developer? So these are the things that come when you're talking about programming. Okay, so basically programmers are developers, are engineers that power, that make, functionalities in the software come to life. Okay, so those are the engineers, those are the programmers. And then this software has to be tested, and that's why you're seeing something like quality assurance. So we have QA testers, we have quality assurance testers. These are the people that make sure that the product is safe to go to the market and is actually okay to be launched to the market. And now after then, you also have Like now, when you go to the market, you have to actually talk about this product. You have to, and now the way you talk about this product is not like the way we know before, or it's not like the normal way that we know before, where you just have to maybe print newspapers. Now we have something like digital marketing. Okay, so digital marketing is a skill that you can learn and actually, you know, talk about products. You're not necessarily saying it with your mouth, it's just like the way you normally know people go to radio houses, or that's not like the digital marketing. Okay, now after all this, somebody has to manage these whole processes, right? And that's where things like project management and product management come in. So these are different things that you can find yourself doing in tech. Now, I'm still going to answer the question to how do I know? Now you've known different things that you can actually explore when it comes to tech. How do I know what to do? We're going to get to that phase. Just come along with me. So tech skills to learn in 2024. From research, we have user research, data analytics, design. So you hardly see a product that, or a service, a tech service that is not using it, like these things, either a graphic designer, a product designer, or a UI UX designer. So we have product management, we have web development, we have digital marketing, we have mobile development, and we have video editing. And the good thing is that you can learn these skills in architecture. Okay, so this is as at 2019, and this was the highest paying entry level jobs in tech. As of 2019 data, people were earning up to $113,000 annually globally. This is on the global scale. And so we are not talking about Nigeria here, right? So before you start earning this kind of money, you need to position yourself as a global talent. But this is something that is possible, because you're in tech. So if you're not in tech, you might not be able to envision something like this in a normal 9-to-5 job. But with tech, this can help you, being in tech can help you get to this level. And this is actually more than this, as at 2024. So this is actually, has actually surpassed this. This is an old data, right? So we have product managers earning up to $106,000 globally. As at 2019, we have developers earning up to I think still $100,000. So, and these things, the truth about tech is the day that tech salaries or tech income will start reducing, that's the day that there will be a problem. But right now, ever since I got into tech, there has never been a decline. I've been into tech for more than 10 years, and from research, there has never been a decline in this space. So it's ever growing. Because you know why it's ever growing? People always have problems, and those problems always warrant that we have solutions to them. And most of these solutions are technical, are digital. And that's why we always need tech skills. We always need tech talent to come in place and solve these problems. Right now, you now know that getting into tech is not all about solving your personal needs, but you have to give out value to gain value. Are you still with me? Say hi on the chat if you're still with me. Let me be sure. Ayomide, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right.
Loud
Awesome.
and clear.
Now, the truth is that a lot of people get into tech without knowing what they want to do with tech. Now, tech is a tool. Tech is not the final destination. Tech is something that will help you achieve, what you want to achieve. And it's really important to know that tech is just but a tool. So let's see the things that you can use tech as a tool to achieve. So you can use tech to start a tech career. When you have a tech skill, you can actually build up a tech career for yourself, just like the way you can build other careers like bank, like in finance, fashion design, baking. Tech is actually it is a career just that is technical, right? So you can start up a tech career because you have a tech skill. And you can also grow your existing career. Now, I've seen people who got promotions just because they got equipped with tech skills. So let's say you're like in your normal workplace and you're like a medical doctor, right? You can grow your tech career. You can grow your career, sorry, not tech career, you can grow your career, your existing career with tech. So just because you're good with tech, you're leveraging tech to become a better talent in your field. So sometimes you don't necessarily have to leave where you are, right? If you know that you're not really passionate about being in the tech industry, there's no point of leaving your career, your existing career to come into tech. That's one mistake that a lot of people make. You see them, they've used 10 years to be like to become a nurse, and now they want to leave nursing, just because they heard that there's money in tech and tech is the new oil. So that is not something you have to do if genuinely you don't want to do that, right? But if you want to do that, it's also okay to transition. That okay, I've been a nurse, but I now have a a new passion for tech. Then you can transition entirely from your nursing industry or from any industry that you're in to come into tech. Okay, so but you can basically use tech to grow your existing career. And then you can also use tech to build a startup. Now, startup is basically any business that is tech enabled, that is tech powered. Like the main engine that is powering the business is tech. It means that without tech, the business cannot function. That's the meaning of a startup, right? So startup, when you're building a startup, if you're not inclined, if you're not tech inclined, you will not be able to do well as a startup founder. Now, is either you know about tech or you get a co-founder that knows about tech. So if any of this doesn't happen, your startup would not function properly. In fact, it will crumble. So if your dream is to build a startup, then you need a tech. You need a tech skill. You need to know about tech. You need to be acquainted about tech. And then you need tech as a tool to grow your existing business. I've seen people who just because of one small skill, let's say video editing, in quotes, video editing is not a small skill. So I'm just saying. So I've seen people who, because they know something like video editing, they've grown their businesses. We've heard people like Hilda Bassi making hundreds of millions just because she knows video editing and she can leverage social media to teach people cooking. Now, she's not a tech girl. She's basically a chef, but she's leveraging tech to grow her existing business. I've seen people who, because they are tech inclined, their fashion businesses are booming. I've seen people who, because they are inclined in tech, their baking businesses are booming. So you don't necessarily always have to close down your business and say, oh, let's all go to tech. Tech is just a field. Tech is also a tool. So you don't always have to always be 100% in tech. You can always use tech to grow your existing business. But that's not possible if you don't know at least one or two tech skills, right? You need to know at least one or two tech skills for you to be able to do that. Okay. Now, you can also become an investor. Not investor, Sabinus. You can become an investor in tech just because now this one requires not so much of knowledge for you to become an investor, but at least you need to know how the industry works. If I want to invest in real estate, right, I should be able to know how real estate works. That's the same way if you want to invest in tech, you need a very basic knowledge of how the tech industry works, the kind of startups to invest in. So there are some people that are very rich and they're just looking for where to invest, right? Those kind of people still need a little knowledge of tech to be able to, do well as an investor. If not, you wouldn't know how to invest your money properly. Okay, so we also have well, let's take a look at this case study. After now, you can go and read about it. But Domino's Pizza story is like a very popular story. They started out as just a small business, you know, shipping, doing pizzas, preparing pizzas and serving in their local community. I know right now there's a whole lot of people, especially women, who are into the food business. This is a food business. A lot of women who are out there, they cook, Some of them, prepare orders and people get to order from WhatsApp and all of that. Now, Domino's Pizza started very small, still serving their local community. And then they had someone in their team who was very tech inclined, and they invested in tech. They built a mobile app, and before you knew what was happening, they became a billion-dollar business, right? They were shipping all over the world. Right now, Domino Pizza is like almost in all the country, and just because of tech, right? I don't want to go through into the story right now, but you can go and read about the Domino's Pizza. I see how they grew massively just because they, they started using tech to power their business. Now, there is a lot of businesses. There are no women, a lot of women are business people. Even those ones that are in tech as career people, they still have some side hustles, that is going on. Now, that's your side hustle can become the next billion-dollar business if you can do the right things as far as leveraging tech in your business, right? So you can leverage tech to build your passion. You don't necessarily have to leave your passion because it's not paying you, and then you want to come to tech where you've heard that there's a whole lot of money. There's money in tech actually, but you need to make sure that you're actually working with passion, that you're passionate about what you're doing. That's why I tell people, if you're passionate about fashion, you don't need to leave the fashion industry to come and be in tech. But just learning something like video editing, graphic design, digital marketing can power your fashion business and can make you skyrocket your sales and your visibility and your processes. And that's why you don't always have to be a tech career person to make it with tech. I hope this makes sense. You don't always have to be a tech career person to make it with tech. So can you still hear me? Can still hear me? Say hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, always. I can hear you clearly.
Awesome. So okay, I think we've done this. So how do you choose a tech skill? First of all, you need to know your personality, right? There are some people, they are very inclined towards arts. Those kind of people can easily do well when it comes to. Now, remember, I'm not making decisions for you because I'm just guiding you. So because you're good with tech, because you're good with art, that doesn't mean that you should just go and learn design. But this is something that can guide you. At the end of this webinar, we're going to take a look at an activity that will help you know your personality, right? But that's one thing that will help. You need to know your personality. There are people who are very logical. Those kind of people would likely do well in logical aspects of tech, things like data analytics, back-end web development. People who, they basically enjoy talking, they enjoy convincing people, can do well in sales. They will have sales part of tech, right? So if naturally you need to know your personality as a person, then you need to leverage your transferable skills. You're coming from somewhere, right? Even before you work full time for somebody, you've had some level of work experience. Maybe when you were a receptionist, you were always interfacing with people. When you were a customer service experience personnel, we were always talking with customers, right? And there are some tech skills that if you want to go into, you might need those skills. For example, if you want to go into product management, you need things like empathy, you need to understand your users. So being in a customer experience facing field can help you, can transfer those skills. Okay, if you used to be like a mathematician, you used to work as a mathematics teacher, that means you're very good with calculation. It means that you will likely do well when it comes to data analysis, because those guys, they play a lot with numbers and all of that. Now, you also need to know why you want to learn a tech skill. Remember, I already told you different areas that you can, bring tech into, whether as a career person, as a business person, as an investor, and thereabout. So you need to know these three things. And then you tell yourself that, okay, this is what I want to do with tech. So let's do this activity. So let's see how you can know your personality. So we're going to play this activity in 5 minutes. So it's something that will basically let you know your personality. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this link and post it on the chat. And then Ayomide would, I think Alex will help us with soft music. And then we'll play this. So at the end of the activity, just post your results on the chat. Let's know your personality type, and then we can go from there. So we're almost at the end. I'm going to be taking questions. And yes, basically that. So if you're still with us, say hello. Say hello if you're still here. So I'm posting this on the chat right now. So I just posted it. So you can click on it and just follow the prompt until you get your result. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. Okay, awesome. I've seen a lot of hellos. So Ayomide, I'm also posting it here.
Okay, I would. Okay. I'm going to share it again in a few minutes for those that would still want to do that after.
So are you there now? So if you've clicked on the link, I just shared it again. If you've clicked on the link and you've started the activity, you can say, I'm there. Say, I'm there. 16personalities.com/free-personalities/test. If you're there, say, I'm there. If you started the activity, say, I'm there. I can't. A lot of people are saying they can't see the link. Ayomide, what do we do now? I've dropped it like 4 times.
Okay. I've also dropped it. I guess it's because, is it possible for you to paste the link on this tool, like on your presentation, and have it visible? Maybe that could work.
Yeah, it's on my presentation. It's showing on my screen. So you can just go to Google and type 16personalities.com. Then follow the first link that comes out. Okay, I've started seeing I'm there. So some people are there now. So I've started seeing I'm there. It's awesome. So start doing the activity. So before, this is 7:50. So before 7:55, I should start seeing different answers. So at the end of the day, you will see a personality. They will tell you your personality type at the end. So Choma says, I've done the test before and it says that I'm an entertainer. So as an entertainer, you can go into content creation, right? Content creation is a sub part of digital marketing, right? So digital marketing has a part that is called content creation. So you can go into content creation if you know how to talk. You can face the camera, you can make people laugh. You can basically, I'm not talking about comedy here, but you can basically add humor in your tech creation, in your tech content creation, and it will attract more people. You can become a storyteller for brands. You can become a storyteller. There are some stories that if I see online, I get glued. And these people are not comedians. I'm not talking about Sabinus. I'm not talking about comedy. I'm not talking about comedy. I'm talking about content creation. Content creation is also part of marketing. You understand? So if you're an entertainer, you can consider that aspect, right? And then remember, there are other things. Now, there are other things that you need to consider when you're getting into tech. You need to consider there are some tech skills, there are some tech skills that are good, but you need to consider if you're passionate about this. If you've done your personality and tech you're an entertainer, you might not be able to do content creation because you're not just passionate about it. It's something that bores you. So you see that it will be difficult for you. But if you're very excited about it, you always want to get into the camera, you always want to share your stories, you always want to tell stories, then that's something that is also good. So you need to consider your personality, you need to consider your passion for it, and then you need to consider the market, if there is a market for that skill. So these are the three things, aside the one that I've shared before, that you need to consider when you want to choose a tech skill. You need to consider if there's a market. As at 16 to 20 years ago, there was little or no market for product design, right? I know that there are product designers who have like up to 15 years experience. Those ones were the people that caught the light very early. And those ones that were the people that didn't mind, even if there is no money, let me just start. I enjoy doing this. And they started. Those are the people that are enjoying it now. But you might not be able to wait for 10 years, right, before you start making money. So you need to ask yourself, in as much as I'm passionate about this, it matches my personality, is there market? Because you want to make money, right? You want to start making good money, at least in the next 2 to 3 years. You need to start making, global money. So you need to ask yourself, is there market for what I'm doing currently? So that is something you need to ask yourself. So has anybody finished theirs? Let me see. Has anybody finished theirs? Are you done with the test? Are you still here? If you're still here, say hi. I've not really seen anybody aside Chioma that said she's an entertainer. So is there any other person who has done this before? Okay, so Mercy says she did it and her result was she was an advocate. So advocacy also falls into digital marketing, right? You know how to talk, you know how to build a community. You can do things like content creation, you can do things like community management, right? You know how to, you're a people person, right? So you know how to, talk to people, you know how to advocate for something. You know how much Google would pay you to advocate for their product if you're good with. There are people who are tech, their career path is advocacy. They are tech advocates, they are developer advocates. That's the name of a field, right? Some people, what they are hired to do, they are hired to be a developer advocate. Basically, they advocate for developer tools to communities, and they go around talking about it. They are tech evangelists. These are people who are good with talking. They are good with, they say one thing, you get glued, you want to know what they are talking about. So these are the people, if you're in this part, you need to consider marketing. And when you talk about marketing, there's the technical part. For example, if you're going to be marketing a technical product like an API, you need to know how to at least use that product. So in some cases, you might need to become technical. And that's where you might not go and, do an extra class and, gain that extra knowledge. But the basics is that, this is who you are, and this aligns, with your skill, right? This aligns with your passion, I mean to say. So these are different ways. Like I said, I'm not going to say, because you're good with this, you must do this, right? most times we have to do like a one-on-one clarity sessions. Now, this is something that can guide you. You can, after now, you can go and actually find out what is good for you to do. But if you're interested in a one-on-one session, just me and you, this is something I do for people. Like I said earlier, I'm a tech career coach. But if you're interested in having a one-on-one session with me, you get an email that would help you indicate your interest if you want to do that. So you can book a session with me, right? It's like a therapy session, but for your career. But for your tech career, for your tech, you want to know how you want to use tech to, blow your business, or you want to just become a tech career person, or you want to use it in your existing career. You want to know what best. So we are going to go through, what I do for you is we're going to go through your background, where you're coming from, where you're going to, your passion and your goals, before we can now decide, what you need to do. But this is a guide. If you're eager to make that journey to, go through that journey, you can go from here. This is a good guide that can help you to decide what you want to do, right? Now that you've known your personality, right? You've known your personality, you know your background, you know your goals, you know your transferable skills. So this is a guide that can help you. A lot of people here are advocates. I've been seeing advocates. So why a lot of digital marketers here? Why a lot of content creators here, right? I think I've seen one person that said that's okay. I didn't really get this person, adventurer. Okay. Logician. So someone says she's a logician, right? So it means you're very logical. So you need to consider something like back-end development or data analytics. It means you're going to be very good with, logic, right? So this is something that can help you. So if you're interested in the one-on-one session, look out for the email, right? Is actually premium, it's not free, but it's something that I can give you discounts and then you can opt in because you're a tech trailer, right? But what I've done for you now can help you to go do the research on your own. Now, basically, if you're coming to her tech show, the cost of getting a tech skill is very, very, very expensive. You can go and do your research. Me personally, I've spent up to more than $1 million on skills, on getting tech skills, right? But what her tech trade does for you is that they do not take tuition from you if you are selected. Now, our classes, our tuition costs up to $700, right? Now, but if you're coming in, if you're selected, you all applied for cohort 9. So if you're selected, what will happen is that you're not going to pay for that. It means you're getting a scholarship, right? So what we are doing here is to help you, because some of you have chosen data analytics and then you find out that is not really what you want to, based on the knowledge you've gotten this evening, that is not really what you want to do, right? So you might want to go back, and there will be a period of time where you can change what you have selected. You can change, from this class, I now know that I really want to be a product designer, right? So you can change your track. There will be a period for that, right? So your tuition is free if you apply for cohort 9 and if you are selected, because definitely not everybody is going to be selected. Okay, so always look out for your email. Check your emails always to ensure that you don't miss out on any important information. A lot of people here say they're entertainer, so you need to consider marketing, things like marketing. Now, there are you can combine these skills. This is a very important information that I'm about to, I thank God I didn't miss it. You can combine your skills. Now, if you're a digital marketer, if you're an entertainer, you might not just be a digital marketer. You can be a digital marketer that knows how to edit videos. You know how to use video editing to tell your stories, right? You see, what's her name? What's this lady's name? Hilda Bassi. A lot of people go to her class not because they don't know how to cook, but because they just want to learn her video editing skills. They want her to teach them video editing for cooking, right? And that's something that they want to do. So if you have done your test and you see that you are an entertainer, you might want to consider digital marketing. You can combine it with video editing. By the time you're telling your stories, you're editing it, it looks so awesome and people want to watch your videos. You can make a lot of money. Do you know how much people make from YouTube every month? And one thing with tech is that you don't even need to get a job to make money. If you're ready to do the job, you don't need to be working in a 9 to 5. There are some people that they are good with 9 to 5. They just want to grow their career. There are some people that they just want to have a personal brand. Now, some people, I know some of my friends that they have a YouTube channel, they are making money and they are still working for an organization. You can make money from YouTube if you're an entertainer. You know how to tell stories, edit your videos, it looks awesome, right? You can learn these things. And the good news is that you can learn them for free in her tech show if you're selected for the scholarship, right? Someone says she's a defender. You can consider things like, I know product management is not just all about defending, right? But you can consider things because as a product manager, you're going to be advocating and building for your customers. So you can consider things like that, right? Okay, so when I say you should look out for your email, we have your email already. We are going to send you an email. That's what I mean. So there is no email that we are dropping here. Now, something else that I wanted to say is if you're already, let's say you're already a product manager, one thing with tech is that you shouldn't stop learning. Even if you're making millions of naira already, don't stop learning. If you're a product manager, do you know that as I am right now, I'm not even hiding it. I'm learning video editing. There was a time I learned it, but I didn't take it serious. But right now, I want to learn. I'm learning video editing. I'm a product manager. I've done programming for more than 5 years. I've been in tech for more than 10 years. But I'm learning video editing as it stands now. So you don't have to, even if you feel like, oh, I have this skill now, you don't have to stop there, right? I know some people who graduated as sometimes it might not even be like, for example, there are some skills that are very interwoven. Sometimes you learn digital marketing and at the end of the day you're employed as a community manager. Sometimes you learn digital marketing, at the end of the day you're employed as a product marketer, right? They are interwoven, but they are not the same. They're not exactly the same thing, but they have a lot of interwoven, skills that they can interwoven with each other, right? So these are the things that you need to take note of. If let's say in your last cohort you were in digital marketing, you can consider to do things like product management, and that way you can become a product marketer, a product marketing manager. There are career paths like that. If you're already a product manager, you can tell yourself, you know what, I don't just want to become a mere product manager. I want to go further. I want to become an analytical product manager. You can go and do the data analytics track. You can go and you want to just specialize on the user experience part. You can tell yourself, I'm going to take the UI UX course and become better when it comes to visuals, as a product manager. Right. So these are the things that you need to. I'm glad that you're all taking the activity, you're doing the activity, and now you're getting to know yourself better. You're getting to know your personality better. So with these things I've said, you can combine it. You can say, okay, I'm a very logical person. I can merge it with this, and I used to be very good. You can tell yourself, I used to be very good with it. So one thing that helped me choose web development as a career path, I used to be very good. I was like the best further math student in my secondary school. In fact, I even won an award for it when I was in secondary school, right? So I was very good with physics as well and math. So when I was trying to get into tech, I knew that web development is something that I could consider. I used to write PhD codes and all of that. So if you can think about your background, like what you studied, what you used to be very passionate about, who you used to work as, when you were in this company, you used to work as a receptionist, it might just be a very small job, but it can give you a reasonable transferable skill that you can, merge and make a decision. Now, like I said, if you're interested in the one-on-one section, you're going to get an email on that, and you're going to get it very awesomely. And I'm not doing for everybody because I don't have time. So I'm doing for only 10 people. So the first 10 people to come are the people that I'm going to be attending to. And after February, I'm not going to be doing for anybody again because I have a lot of things I'm doing, right? So I'm just going to be giving 10 slots to 10 lucky people that would want to, leverage the opportunity. So I think I'm done. Thank you so much. I'm going to be on the background. I'm going to be taking questions. But right now, I'm going to be handing over to Ayomide. Someone say, what about a commander? I can consider something like a project manager. If you know how to police people to get their work done, in a very friendly manner, I can consider project management. So I'm handing over to Ayomide. Ayomide, over to you.
Okay, well, I learned a lot of things. I hope everybody did so. So we are going to be picking questions, because we always feel like your opinions are important. And there are some times where, somebody giving you your answers via words and getting your answers via words helps more. So, hi, any questions you have, please drop in the comment section. I'll be picking these questions and answering them. Okay, somebody said they have virtuoso. That please say something about virtuoso. Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I said what?
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm confused also because Precious Obi is saying, please say something about virtuoso.
Virtuoso. To be honest, I don't know what that word means, but I think it has something to do with virtue. So I'm just gonna check. So if you're a tech person, right, you need to know how to quickly do a research and know what you don't just make blind decisions. So let's see what that word means. Okay, virtuoso is
awesome.
Right. So I just googled it. So I'm not gonna tell you that, oh, I knew it before now. So it means, and let me open my camera. So it means someone who is very artistic. So if you check it on Google, it's someone who is very artistic. So it means you can consider things like things that has to do with the visual stuff, like graphic design, UI, UX, video editing. You can consider those kind of skills. Hope I answered your question. Hello. Did I answer your question?
She has not yet dropped a comment, but definitely it should have. Okay, so the next person on the list is Faye. She said, please, I kind of lost you about the 10 people slot. To reach you, where are we supposed to contact you? That's Faye Aigoro.
Okay, so we didn't say
Can you hear me?
We didn't say you should contact us. We said you should look out for an email. Okay? Ayomide, can you hear me?
Okay, it's kind of breaking off, I guess, the network. But yes, I did hear you
now.
So yes, I can hear you now. It's better.
So I said we didn't say you should contact us. We said you should look out for an email. So we'll be sending you an email. Look out for it before the end of the week. You get it. So someone says
it looks like a lot of people want to meet you personally.
Someone says, what about protagonist? So protagonist is someone like you have good managerial skills, right? So you can consider manager, like you know how to lead people, you know how to influence people, right? You know how to lead a team, right? So you can actually consider that aspect, managerial, anything that has to do with managerial, project management, product management. But this is one mistake that people make. You don't just go into managerial role because you feel like you're a good leader. You need to also, it's just like if you have, let's say you have a bunch of paid helps in your house. You don't just make one person a manager because she has a good managerial skill. You need to consider that this person actually knows how to, let's say they are chefs. You need to consider that, does this person really know how to cook, right? So before you make someone head of cook, the person should know how to cook. So that's why I said I cannot just say do this until I meet you one-on-one. I need to know your history. I need to know what you've been doing before I say this is what you need to do. But in this example that I just gave, it gives you a clear instance of what I mean. Like, you don't just do managerial role because you feel like you can lead. So if you're going to be a product manager, you need to have experience working in the product team, either as a UI UX designer, a customer experience personnel, a web developer, a developer in general, a designer, where I can now say, okay, I can now lead this team. Hope this makes sense. I only them.
Hi, Gloria. Somebody has a question.
Okay.
So someone is saying that if you are into sales, what aspect of tech can you do? Someone is asking that question.
There are aspects of tech that I can do, like sales. Do you know that tech sales is one of the underrated? They pay them very well. They earn very well. In fact, you don't even need to have a job to make money from sales as a tech person. If you know how to sell very well, you can go into things like affiliate marketing. And when I say affiliate marketing, I'm not talking about those ones that will just be sharing links. No, that's still part of it, but it can make deals with companies that there are companies that if you just sell one of, let's say if you get someone that will use their product for 1 year, you can make as much as $1,000. Now imagine when you do it for like 10 companies, but there are skills, there are technical skills that you require to know these things. You don't just go into sales. There are skills, there is a pathway, right? And that's like why if you want to come for the one-on-one, it will really help you a lot, right? And someone is asked, okay, for sales also, you can also think sales and marketing, they are kind of different. But if you're very good in sales, you can do marketing, you can do digital marketing, you can do things like content creation, things that have to do with putting a product out there, right? Or putting a service out there. So anything like digital marketing, content creation, if you're good with sales, you can consider those things. Okay, so
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm trying to look for another question. Okay, so we would answer just very few questions. Oh, a lot of people are really, really interested in having a one-on-one with you. Apparently, you are the Odogress and they are seeing it. So, okay, that's nice. People are still dropping what they learned. That's awesome. But like Gloria said, it would be very, very important that you should also, Google out what you want to do. Like, be sure of what your personality test told you, and also try to affirm that, okay, this I'm going to learn, is it for me or is it not for me? Okay, then someone has a question. For someone in the health sector, like caregiver, what tech courses can you recommend, please?
So for someone who is already a caregiver, right, it doesn't matter if you're in the health industry or not. So you can consider things like you have empathy, right? For you to be caring for people, it means that you know how to empathize with people, you know how to care for people. So you can consider things like customer experience people. Those people, they face customers a lot. Even when customers are insulting them, they'll be saying, thank you so much. You can reach out to us. We can do this for you. They send us a DM. They know how to have patience. There are some people that don't have that kind of patience. So if you know how to swallow insults, even when they are insulting you, you can chest it. You can consider those kind of career paths. And the truth is that no matter what you're doing, right? So far you're in tech, there is money. So it doesn't matter if there was a career path like sweeping in tech, I would still not look down on it, because if you're sweeping is not a tech skill. I'm just using that as an example. So if you're a caregiver, you can consider things like that. Now, if you're already in the health industry, now being a caregiver, I know that most people who are caregivers are mostly in the healthcare industry, right? And especially people that want to jabba, most of them end up, at least for the first few years, they end up doing that before they now get like a better job, right? So there are people who are very passionate about, being in the healthcare industry, but there are people who are doing it because they can't find any other alternative. So if you can't find another alternative, you don't have to be there doing healthcare stuff. You can actually learn a tech skill and divert into tech and earn better. I don't know if this makes sense. So I think I've answered that question. Someone has been crying here. She said, what about architecture? So architecture still has to do with, artists, being artistic, and it's not just artistic, it's artistic plus logic, because inside architecture there's a little bit of mathematics. You need to take measurements and all of that. So if you want to merge visuals and logic, one good place to consider is front-end development. Front-end developers, they merge they merge logic, and then they merge logic with aesthetics. So if you want to become a front-end developer, that's somewhere you can consider.
Okay, Gloria, we have some questions. I'm sorry, we'd only be able to take a few questions. The first one is, should I say them one by one or say them all and you answer them?
Yeah, you can say them one by one. So I think we just take 3 more, okay, and then we'll call it a day.
Yes, 3 is perfect. So the first question I'm picking here is, do you think it's okay to learn many things just to have experience before focusing on one particular skill?
It's valid, right? I remember when I was starting out, there was nothing I did not do. I did Photoshop, I did graphic design, I did a lot of things before I started code. Before I now said, okay, I want to just code, right? So if you have the time, and I think that's a good, if you're actually able to do that, it means you have patience, and that's a good skill to have coming into tech, right? So if you want to go that route, it means you have to give yourself like 1 year exploring first. But there are some people that don't have that patience. But for you to have that patience, it means that you have the right skill. Patience is a good skill to have when you're coming into the tech industry, because sometimes it might not make your money in your first year and all of that. So it's good that you want to, even consider, you can just use 1 year and say, I want to just take 2 months or 1 month to go over all these skills. And then at the end of 1 year, I can now decide. 1 year might be too much. You can use 6 months. And at the end of the day, I will decide which one to go for. So that's valid and that's okay.
Awesome. Okay, that's a perfect answer because she has been throwing you low since. The other person is asking that she thinks she wanted cybersecurity, but it wasn't on the list, so she opted for UI UX. Is there a way she can make a switch?
Yes, you can make a switch. When you're onboarded, your onboarding week, you can use that week to make a switch. Yes, you can make a switch. And now, I think I'm going to say this. I know a lot of people are now focusing on the personality test, but don't forget one thing I talked about, passion, right? In as much as this is your personality, you need to also, consider if you're passionate about this. So, and that's why I said sometimes you might not be able to just decide at the spot, right? And that's why if you do the one-on-one, it's going to help you a lot. So you can say, okay, this is what my personality test is telling me, but then you see that in as much as your personality test is telling you that you're an advocate, but you're shy, you're not even passionate about all in your camera. So you see that there might be variations to that, right? So it's not just a one fit answer all the time, but this can guide you. So always bear that in mind. So Ayomi, I think we can take the next question and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. Sadly, I enjoyed every bit of this. I hope you guys did also. Sadly, this is the last question. So the person is asking that with customer service experience and learning data analytics, she's wondering what other technical skills come to this calculation, because she's passionate about mathematics and she's eager to explore related areas further.
Yeah. So aside data analytics, right, one place you can enjoy your analytics nature is back-end development. Those guys, most of the things they do is logic, right? So you can consider back-end development. You can also consider front-end development, but front-end development is not just logic. Front-end development is logic plus aesthetics, So you need to put in logic. And when I say front-end development, I don't mean front-end design. There's a difference between design and programming. Some front-end developers, what they just do is HTML and CSS and Bootstrap. I mean people who involve calculation, which is JavaScript now. So you can consider front-end web development, or even other like front-end development, like mobile, like you want to start doing mobile development, right? So these are the area that you can actually opt in for if you're good with so back end. But if you want to consider front end, bear in mind that it's not just logic, you also have to be good with visuals. So if you're good with visuals, and then sometimes you must not necessarily be very good with visuals before you go for something that has to do with visual. If you can learn, if you can have the patience. For example, if I'm very good with aesthetics, right? I'm good with visuals, I'm good with designs. I can learn graphic design or UI UX in 6 months, and I can start actually working and making money. But there's other people that can do it for 1 year plus, because they are not naturally good with design, but they are very passionate and they are eager to wait and have the patience and learn. So you see, it's not just a one-fit answer, but this can guide you.
Wow, awesome. So the social media handles of Gloria will be posted. Like I said, if you want to ask her any question, if you feel like your personality test is something that is out of the ordinary, you can always reach out to her. Your social media handles will be posted in the link very soon. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you all. My own personality test was saying awesome lady, so I already know that I'm meant for awesome things. It was saying awesome lady, so I'm meant for awesome things. I know that I'm more than all this. I'm more than all this, please. All tech skill is for me. So it was nice meeting you people. Have a wonderful night. All my people from all around the world. This is community manager saying bye.
Thank you, Ayominde. Thank you for the session. That was awesome. DJ, can you give us a song, please?
Please, Alex, am I muted?
But what if I told you there's a faster, easier, and bias-free way to hire? It's time to reinvent your hiring with Test Gorilla.